Have you been driving down the road and, maybe you look to the right and you see Five Guys burgers or, maybe your favorite milkshake, maybe Culver's, and you're like, wow, that seems great. Or maybe you see a casino and you're driving, you're like, you know what? I'm supposed to get home and help my wife do some things, but you know what? I may make a pit stop. So retirees aren't working anymore. So they're doing nothing but in this car of temptation. And the temptation now is everybody's talking about everybody making all this money. They're making all this money. Should I be making more money? Should I be gambling with my retirement savings so that I can maybe get some more percentage return points? And I would put out the caution flare. I think we've talked about this on the show at length, but I think it's important to re-emphasize now when the market starts to run a little bit, it's been very kind. The market has been very kind to financial advisors. It's been very kind to investors for almost, we're going on almost 14 years here. It's not always kind. And I know that's like a vague, nebulous kind of cautionary tale, but I will hopefully weave some wisdom into this. When you go to the grocery store, I've used this, metaphor a ton on the show, but I think it hits home. You don't go 95 miles an hour. It's 3 miles away. You don't go 95 and run the red lights and run, obviously, the stop signs. And the reason being, if you drive faster, the chances of you injuring somebody, injuring yourself, getting a ticket, all those things increase exponentially. And you ask yourself, why would I go faster if the ice cream and the double stuffed Oreos are still there? And that's the right question. Why would you drive faster if you could get there in 10 minutes instead of 5 minutes? Is it really worth it? And I don't think people look at their money that way, which is the hard part to crack here. That's why our show has to do all the work here and try to continue to kind of beat the drum of, do you really need to maximize every one of your dollars in retirement to enjoy your retirement? So why do we treat it like that? Why do we act like we're missing something? We're not missing anything. We're doing exactly what we want to be doing, which is not have to worry, because putting your money in the market comes with stress and anxiety and all kinds of other emotions and feelings that distract from your enjoyment of retirement. Coupled with the fact of what's an extra 1 or 2% going to do? Are you going to go to Fiji instead of Charleston? No, you're not. You're going to look at your statement and be like, oh, that's nice. Back to whatever I was living my life doing. But the downside risk of a lot of these kind of scenarios, Randy, is where I get nervous for people, where it's like, what do you need to have to do everything you want in retirement? And that's where we always start with clients. Like, we break down everything, all the trips, all the fun stuff, all the giveaways, everything they need. And if someone says, well, I need to have $1.7 million, and I'm like, that's specific. Why? That's just what I need. Well, it's like, well, explain that to me. Walk me through it, because we kind of looked at what you're spending, and you're actually bringing in more in Social Security and your pension than you were spending. So really, you don't need any savings. Not that we'd recommend that, but in theory, you don't need anything. So why are we taking all this risk? And it's just something that they're stuck on. And that's okay. It's your money. You can go to the casino. You can go play blackjack. You can put your money into Nvidia, 2 years too late, and try to, jump on the end of this run. And I just always ask, if it's something you have, it's like, Greg, I need to have these returns so that I can go to Florida. That puts us in a risky spot. But, if that's what you have to have in retirement to be happy, then all right, let's talk about it. But that's not how it works. Most time it's just money they don't need anyways, and they're just risking it. And to me, everyone should start with a market flashlight, right? Our market flashlight breaks down exactly how much risk you're taking right now at this moment and what would happen in a 2022, a 2010, a 2000. What did that holding do in those time periods in terms of loss? And I think when you say, well, people don't think in terms of percentages. That's the trick the financial industry always says. Hey, Randy, you grow 12%. Oh, no, we just had a 10% setback. Like, no one thinks like when someone's like, hey, Randy, how much was that hamburger? You're like, it was 0.5% of my weekly earnings. No one says that. But that's the trick that the financial industry does. They talk in percentages, where, well, our market flashlight does, Randy, says, if 2022 happened again, you lose $378,000. And that number hits home because it's a number, not a percentage. Most people need to know the number that will go backwards, the risk that will go backwards, and then they can evaluate, is that too much risk in their portfolio to be comfortable? And a lot of people say, that feels like too much. I want to be at 200,000, or I want to be at 100,000, or I want to be at whatever the number is. And then we show them what that allocation looks like not having that money in the market, Randy. That's the magic of the market flashlight when people talk about it, but it's kind of pointless to take risk and decide how much risk you want unless there's a reason behind it. That's why I kind of get lost in the shuffle here of most financial industries talk about, well, what do you want at risk? I'm like, well, have you talked about what they need in retirement? Because otherwise you're just guessing. Like, oh, I guess I just like to drive fast going nowhere. Okay, well, that doesn't seem like a very good plan for your retirement, Randy. But, when you have that and be able to tie it to it, that's why we do the market flashlight at no cost. It gives people some perspective and direction on where they're going in retirement tied to their income needs.